you know how we use broker feedback to sell your home? Well, full disclosure, the idea for this video was a suggestion from one of our YouTube subscribers. I actually, as a real estate agent, had no idea that the general public and that sellers knew that we solicited feedback and repositioned our marketing. I had no idea. So anyway, thank you for that. I am curious though, if you are a seller, what you might be curious about. So put something down in the comments. I promise to reply to everyone who puts something down there. All right, I should also mention I only work in Boca Raton, Florida that is, but I am totally happy to help you. This video, of course, is on YouTube, so it's available no matter where you are. If there's anything I can provide, don't be shy. Please feel welcome to reach out. All right, so you may have heard the saying, you should never fall in love with your racehorse. And the key to understanding a real person's take on your property that you are trying to sell is to distance yourself from your own feelings about the property. And one of the ways that we do this is, of course, your real estate agent will give you all sorts of, reality checks about the condition and positioning and all of that. But we also like to talk to real people who might actually buy the property and ask them what their opinion is. So I always like to start this process. I personally show my listed properties. I like to try to get the buyers chatting. Okay, my buyers out there, don't be alarmed. I'm super friendly, and that's why I like to get you chatting. But after the fact, I often have to follow up with their brokers and ask the same questions that I've already asked the buyers. You would not believe how often it goes from, well, we like the house, but we're not really sure. So how's that for a buyer voice? I don't know. In my mind, that's what the buyer sounds like. And it can go all the way from that, all the way down to like, actually, we hate the layout, we hate the neighborhood, we would never live there. It's like, wow, well, when they were in the house, they said they weren't sure. But sometimes people, they're on the spot. So we like to follow up after showings to ask the broker the same questions. Then we can use that information to reformulate. So I'm going to tell you my very favorite questions to ask. So we'll start off with number one. So where do you live now? In a really natural and conversational tone. So if we can get the buyer talking about where they currently live, we can then tailor our presentation. So for example, if a buyer says, I live 2 houses down, I probably shouldn't tell them where the mall, the hospital, the grocery store is and what a great neighborhood we're in because they already know. And by contrast, I may need to provide some relocation materials to their agent to help our cause along. But that definitely opens a dialogue. It gets people comfortable with chatting about where they are and where they see themselves going. Number two, I like to straight up ask, do you see yourself living in this home? If the answer is yes, that's a really great answer. We can explore and see how we might actually be able to make that happen. Now, if the answer is no, I do not see myself living in this house, it's actually sometimes more helpful and more useful than, yeah, I could see myself living here. Why? Well, there's no, we have nothing to lose at that point, right? The buyer is feeling relaxed enough to say, I don't really see myself living here. And then we can say, okay, great. Well, I'm just curious, what is it that's kind of the deal killer here for you? They may mention some things that we never thought of. Now, we pay particular attention when the same answers keep coming up from different buyers. And then we can take a look at how to best address those things. The next one, number three, is what are your favorite aspects of this home? So even a buyer who's not going to buy it, not interested, they may say, oh, wow, I really love the layout and I really love the way that the kitchen's open. But, we drove around the neighborhood. We don't see ourselves in this neighborhood. We don't like it. It's good to know on both counts, right? And sometimes somebody who's like not even interested can give you very valuable feedback. How we present the home in many cases is then going to change based on what we are frequently hearing about that. And then the things that are really positive, we use those to market the house. On the flip side, we like to say, what did you like least about this home? This can be really illuminating because sometimes we'll figure out that there's something wrong that somehow didn't dawn on us. Some people may say, well, you know, it's advertised as a 4-bedroom, but really that 3rd bedroom is so tiny, it's almost not usable. So we then can maybe say, okay, it's a 3-bedroom plus den, you know, in some of our marketing materials to be sure that the people who are coming through the door are actually going to be interested in purchasing the home. So we can use that negative feedback in a positive way. Number 5, I like to ask, what is your opinion about this home's listing price? So this one works on a couple of levels. Let's say you've shown a house several times and you're getting all positive feedback about the house. You're getting negative feedback about the price. You have to take a look at the price. Well, I really love it, but the price is just sort of bananas. You have to take a look at the price. And by contrast, you may have, you know, really good feedback about the house and really good feedback about the price. Well, that would tell me you're not digging. There's something missing that someone's not telling you about why that home is not being sold. That's a really great follow-up conversation to have with a real estate agent when a buyer says, oh, I love it, it's so great. What do you think of the price? Price is really fair, it's really good. And then no offer comes, particularly if it's not because they've chosen another house. So that can be a very illuminating conversation. And number 6, this is a really straight question, but I love to ask, what would it take for you to feel comfortable moving forward with an offer on this house today? Now, someone who's already said, I don't see myself living in this house may look at you a little funny. But if you have it in a really conversational tone, it's like, oh, you know, hypothetical. Then they might say, well, if you gave it to me for free, and, you know, it may like get into that territory, which is not very useful. But there are many times when people would say, well, you know, we weren't considering this house because, you know, we need something, we need to move in 30 days. And we can tell from looking around, these people have probably lived here for many, many years. They're going to probably need 2 or 3 months to get out of the house. Maybe, you know, the place is packed with stuff. We can then work on whether that objection is relative to what they're assuming about the seller's situation or if it's actually rooted in reality. But that does open up an opportunity to have dialogue about how we might be able to move that conversation forward with the buyer. So we share the good, the bad, and the ugly with the seller. We like to put our heads together after the showing with the agents and better understand what the feedback means and how we can use that to more effectively position and market the property. So listen, I've sold in my career a lot of very challenged properties. Some of you might know them as ugly houses. I've sold a lot of these, and I can tell you with no hesitation whatsoever, every house has a correct buyer. It's just a matter of positioning the property in such a way that you are attracting the correct buyer to that house. The buyer who's going to think it's a great opportunity and buy it. Okay, I'm curious, have you ever used feedback in your ventures as a home buyer or seller? I'm curious about your take on that. Please put something down in the comments for me. I promise to answer each and every person who puts a comment down there. I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing. I am Rochelle.TV on Instagram. We do a lot of really fun content over there, like property tours, things of that nature. I think you might enjoy it. We'd really appreciate a follow. So I appreciate you watching this video very much. We have done a whole series on the theme of selling a home, so you could check out other videos that are related topics such as staging a home, repairs that you should make, and how to hire a real estate agent. And I hope you'll check some of those out too. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rochelle.TV, bringing you the very best of Boca Raton luxury real estate. See you next time.